This is a Surge session in association with Taboo Sessions. I'm Alice from Pandemonium and I'm here with Eeade, and I'm going to ask you a few questions about your music and the live session that you've just done.
Sounds good.
So my first question is, because I know Eeade is not your name necessarily, but I wanted to ask, like, where did that come from? Who is Eeade?
I like to think of Eeade as my most creative self, sort of like, me in my most emotional and highest form, I guess. My music's very dramatic, and I think that comes across, and I think that all sort of plays into it. As to what Eeade is, I initially wanted to start a band. I work with one other secret person who doesn't want to be in the spotlight and just does like my instrumentation and production for me. So actually, I work with one other person, and it's kind of a project with two people. But since he wants to take a step back, I have just become Eeade. It was a name that I chose that could work for a band or a solo project, because I kind of didn't really know where it would end up. But it's actually a reference to the Chaos Walking trilogy, the name Eeade, which is my favourite trilogy ever. It's a sci-fi trilogy, a YA sci-fi trilogy, super underrated. And one of the characters from there is called Viola Eeade. And the extra E is just a typo that I kept.
So I know that you didn't have the most normal journey into music, so I thought maybe you could tell us a bit about your journey coming into music, and then how you would describe your artistry and where that's come from.
Yeah, so you're right, I didn't study music. I started getting into music quite a lot later than a lot of people, actually. But I actually started learning piano specifically when I was a teenager. I was about 10 years old when I started learning piano. And I didn't like lessons, so I gave up and I didn't touch a piano for ages. But I've always been a pretty strong singer, and I really enjoy singing. And I graduated from university and I ended up moving back to the Basque Country, which is where I'm originally from, moved in with my aunt, and sort of had a difficult time meeting people and getting to know people and making friends. And so I just started to pick up music as a hobby, and I decided to really, really, really focus on my singing and seeing what I could do if I really focused. And around that time, I was also listening to a few artists that really inspired me. So Joanna Wang's album House of Belize, if you listen to that and you listen to my stuff, you'll be like, that makes a lot of sense. So I was listening to all this stuff and I was getting really inspired, and I thought I'd give songwriting a go. And so I brought myself a affordable keyboard and just sort of, because I found myself with a lot of time and found myself being on my own a lot, I just started playing around and seeing what I could come up with. And this was 5 years ago. So I was living in a small town in the north of Spain where there wasn't an awful lot going on with music. Location makes such a difference when you're trying to get yourself out there. And then I ended up moving back to the UK and was living with my mum in another small town. And then for about a year and a half, I've been back in Leeds. I moved back here for personal reasons, but I just said to myself, I'm just going to really, really focus and see what happens if I just try and just take advantage of all the creative stuff that Leeds has to offer. And so currently, I'd say it's going quite well. I'm sort of gigging semi-regularly in and around Leeds. And that's kind of how it all happened. Just started as a hobby, moved here, was like, I'm going to take advantage of everything that's here. And
How would you describe your sound? And if you could then put it into 3 words, I mean, you might not be able to.
Yeah.
But if you could you do that?
I think so. I think, generally speaking, my sound tends to be quite theatrical, sort of dramatic, eerie in places. It really varies depending on the song. Always experimental though.
And what do you hope people take from your show when they come and watch you?
I hope that anybody who has a similar worldview to me feels seen, I guess. A lot of my music really touches on themes of feeling like an outsider, or you don't belong, or I have a lot of really big and deep emotions, especially around love and friendship and that kind of thing as well. And so I just hope that if you come to one of my shows, you have that moment of I've been there and I really relate to this, and this person, this artist, sees me and understands me.
That's really sweet. So how has your experience been with Surge so far?
It's been great. honestly. I found everybody to be super friendly, first of all, and really lovely, really easy to talk to. And also just like, it's been pretty well organised as well. I have to say, yeah, it has been. So massively positive. I don't have anything bad to say, to be honest. Yeah, just very happy to be here.
And what are you excited about coming up in Surge?
I'm looking forward to the live recording being out, definitely. I can't wait to see how that all turns out. But I'm also really looking forward to my headline show, which is on the 25th of May. And I think that will be a really good one, especially because it's at Wharf Chambers, which is such a great venue. And I used to watch loads of bands here when I was a student and stuff, and then recently moving back as well. I've been here a few times, and so I'm really looking forward to performing here.
Touching on your headline show, if you were to encourage people to come and you'd put yourself in like 4 fans of, what other artists would you like group yourself with? Like if people are fans of them, they should come to this show.
I get a lot of comparisons to Kate Bush, which is interesting because I've never massively listened to her. Like I know all her greatest hits and stuff, but I get a lot of comparisons to Kate Bush. I'd say a closer comparison point is probably Amanda Palmer or the Dresden Dolls. But yeah, sort of that kind of strong singer, songwriter-y type.
And what have you got coming up in 2025 that we should keep our eyes out for?
I'm currently working on my debut EP, which is called This World is Very Strange, which is essentially my introduction to the world as an artist and kind of is best thought of as a collection of short stories that reflect the way in which I view the world, basically. So I'm looking forward to bringing that out and finally getting that out in the world because I've been working on these songs for a really, really long time. And I am also really looking forward to my headline show, to say.
What about your headline show are you specifically excited for, if you can put it into words?
I don't know. I think I'm just excited to see like who turns up and see, see my music reach new people. Like I always love talking to people after shows because I find that people do really, really connect with my music. And so I'm just looking forward to meeting people who are going to be there to see me, to be honest. Yeah. I'm also going to be bringing out some merch. So I'm looking forward to having some merch finally out there and see that physically. So
anything else you want to shout about while we're here?
Not really. I mean, you can find me anywhere. So I'm Eeade.
She's everywhere all at once.
Everywhere. Yeah, great film. Yeah, literally everywhere. All socials, all music streaming platforms, Eeade, Eeade. That's kind of it, I think.
That's all I've got. Over to you.